Hi guys, it's Karina. So I am back with another video tutorial on my template 56, but today we're going to be working on the Dahlia inspired flower. We are going to be making the smaller size with my template 56. Now I have already posted two videos here on my YouTube channel. The first one was on the gardenia inspired flower using the same template. And then I also shared with the most recent video tutorial this layered petal flower. Super cute. So if you want to learn how to make these two videos, refer to the last two videos that I posted here on YouTube. Now on the gardenia inspired flower, I do share with you guys, I go on Design Space and I share with you what the SVG looks like, because with this template you do get the SVG, which means you can cut with cutting machines such as Design Space or should I say Cricut, or your Silhouette Maker. But you also do get the PDF. So with the PDF, you're just going to be able to print the PDF. I would suggest cardstock, because then you can cut out the petals individually, and then you're going to have your own hard copy template. I'm trying to grab my excuse me, my petals over here. So you are going to receive 10 petals like I mentioned. So like with the PDF, when you cut them out, you're going to have 10 petals, and just trace and cut, you guys. So in this tutorial, the amount that I tell you, you are going to trace that same amount and then just cut them out. Okay, so there is that option, because I know some of us don't have cutting machines, just prefer to hand cut, so that option is also available. So you do get both. Honestly, I use both. For the longer, or should I say for the larger petals, I do tend to do more of the trace and cut, whereas for the smaller one, I do tend to use my Cricut, just because I can add more petals on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. When it comes to the larger petals, it's less space, so I just rather trace and cut. But anyways, let's get to the tutorial. Let me move these out of the way. So I am going to be using the first 5 petals. So the first 5 of the smallest of the petals. For that larger white dahlia that you've seen, I did use the first 5 largest. Okay, now if you want somewhere in between sizes, then you could, maybe you want to use the third largest, and then just count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this would be another size right here. Okay, so you can definitely mess around with the petal. Now I do have all my petals prepped, so let me go ahead and grab those. So remember, I said you needed the first 5 from smallest to largest. Okay, so you are going to need 12, and then you're going to need 6, 6, and 6. Okay, so your 2 largest, you're going to need 12, because you are going to double up, and then these you only need 6. Okay, all right, we're going to start off with the largest ones. I'm going to grab my materials. So you need scissors, glue gun, and I am going to get a wooden dowel. So go ahead and grab 6. Now this is the smaller sister of template 7, so I do have a larger version of this template, which is template 7. So if you have that template, you can follow the same steps. Obviously the petals are going to be larger, because with template 7, that template is meant for more like the 15, 18, 20 inch range flowers. With template 56, ideally you can go from 5 inches to roughly 12 inches. So they are more on the smaller side, but if you want the larger petals, then template 7 is there for you if you want. But if you have the SVG for template 56, you can always just stretch the petals and make them larger. Now if you have template 7 and you don't have template 56, now this only applies for the SVG, you can size the petals down on Design Space or Silhouette. So that's the nice thing with SVGs, is that you can manipulate the sizing. What I give you are the original measurements, but then that is up to you whether you want to mess around with the size, with the petals, and make them larger or smaller. Okay, unfortunately you can't do that with the with the PDF. You would have to purchase it separately, because with template 7 you also get the PDF and the SVG. All right, so let's go ahead and start. So here are my first 6, and as if you notice, I just gave them a slight curl up. Okay, so now we're going to go around in a circle, adding a very small dot of glue, and then adding that petal. So just a small dot, just in case we need to adjust the petals. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So now we need to go ahead and cover up this gap. Now, where did I have, I wonder if this is the scrap. No, this is darker. Let me go ahead and find, I had a little piece of scrap of this one. Hold on. All right, you guys, so I found the scrap. So all you want to do is just cut out a large enough circle to cover up that gap that you had. So this is our first layer. So now we're on to the second layer. So you are same petal size. You should have 6. Go ahead and do 3 and 3. You're going to repeat the same process. We're going to give them a slight curl up. Okay. Now you're going to need your scissors. And we are going to give them a cut in the center and add glue, just like this. So again, cut, add glue. You're gonna glue right where that is, okay? Try not to glue all the way over here. No, you want it right here, just right here at the end. Just like that. So once we have these cut, and if you're wondering, those scissors are from Westcott, favorite brand of scissors, just because I work with cardstock a lot, and if you noticed, I cut those 3 petals like a charm. It cuts through cardstock amazingly. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and glue these petals in between, and you're just going to go around. Honestly, it's such a simple flower. Okay, so now that we have those 2 layers, we're going to go on to the next size, which again, you needed 12. So remember, you needed the first 2 largest petals. We needed 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to go ahead and start off with 3. So now we're going to repeat the same thing, just like we did with this second layer, where we're going to curl the petals slightly up. All right, you're going to grab your scissors. You're going to cut in the center, just like that. Same thing, you're going to add glue and just glue it like that. Add glue, cross over, okay? And then once you've done that to all your petals, you are going to repeat the same process. We're going to go in between petals and go around. So we're going to do this for the third layer, which is what we're working on. And we're also going to do the fourth layer. So let me go ahead and glue these up and then I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so I am done with the third layer and fourth layer. So remember that second petal size, we double it up. We needed 12, so 6 for the third and 6 for the fourth layer. We are on to the next petal size. For this one, we only needed 6. So same process, but we're not curling now. Okay, we're not going to curl the tips. We're just going to cut in the center. And this time, notice I'm going more in the middle because I want this petal to sit up more. And then we're going to repeat the same process, but this time I'm going to add glue to the left, not the right, because we're going to tuck that last petal in. And we are going to go right in between. So again, cut in the center, add glue towards the center, glue petal in between. So again, cut in the center, and add glue towards the center right here, cross over, and glue. Grab these 3 together. Not sure if I mentioned, but I am using the Surebonder Mini Detailed Glue Gun. It's my go-to for smaller flowers. Okay, guys, so here's what I wanted to show you with this last petal. Let me zoom in. Remember how we only glued on the left side? That's because we are going to tuck this petal right underneath here. So see how this kind of tucked in right there. So now I'm just going to secure this petal and add glue. So that way it's more of a seamless look. Okay, so we are on to the next petal size. You need 6 as well. You're going to repeat the same process. Cut in the center, add glue towards the middle, cross, repeat by only adding glue to the left side, and then glue in between the petals. Let me do one more. So cut in the center, glue, cross over, and now we're just going to glue this petal in between these two. All right, let me finish this layer up and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so I am done with that layer. So I am on to the last petal. We need 6, so we're going to prep it the same way. Cut in the center, add glue, cross, add glue only to the left side, and go in between petals. Now it does become a little bit more trickier because these petals are smaller, so I do like to use a wooden dowel to kind of press down on the petals. All right, I'm on to my last one. I'm gonna lift this up slightly and slide her down. So there we go. Oh, sorry. So I tucked this one right underneath this petal. I'm gonna go ahead and add some glue. And that's it, we're all done. So now obviously we need a center. So typically when it comes to smaller flowers, which I am gonna be using today, are gemstones. So let me grab my gems. Okay, you guys, so as I said, for the smaller dahlias, I do like to use gems. It's just easier for me just to pick out a gem. And I think I'm gonna go ahead, since I think I'm gonna go with this one right here. And then I would just glue her in the center like that. Okay, so that is just a simple, super cute idea. Here's another gem that I could add there in the center. Or this one, I call this one my unicorn. Just the colors remind me of a unicorn. Actually, I like that one better. But I also wanted to show you another go-to center. Typically, I make this center with my larger dahlias. As you can see, I kind of have like this rolled up center. So I do like to use centers that look similar to this. So Design Space does have similar centers that look like this one right here. So this is one of my personal pink centers. This is pink center too, so you can find this on my Etsy. But again, if you have Design Space, there's one called Dandelion that's pretty similar that you could use that one. I'm not sure about Silhouette. Honestly, I'm not very much of a Silhouette user. I do have it. I have it just in case, because again, I deal with SVGs and pings and all that, so I want to make sure that I can help my Silhouette users. But honestly, I don't really mess around with it to tell you if there is something similar. But you would need just something similar like this to have these little, what would you call these, pistils. Now, I am using a foam pad, which is going to help me roll the petals. Now, mine's beat up. As you can see, I have had this for many, many years. Honestly, maybe like 9 years. It is from McGill. I want to say you can probably still find this. I did purchase this off Amazon. Okay, so it is a foam mat. And then I'm also going to be using, this is from McGill as well, probably 9 years as well. I purchased them at the same time. I did purchase them separately though. They do purchase them, they'd sell them separately. And these are the rolling tools. It comes with 3 of them with different rolling balls that can help you kind of with the petals. This is meant more for like the smaller flowers, but I like to use these for my centers. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably go with this one. Sorry if it got a little bit darker. So what I like to do, actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna go with this one. I like to roll. So I kind of roll the petal inward. I don't know if you can see that. Like I press down and then I move it forward. And as you can see, these are rolling in. Actually, I'm going to have to use both. I'm going to use the smaller one for that one. So it is more, I would say, on the time-consuming part. Actually, this one works too. But this is just an option. I just wanted to give you an idea for a center. Now, for that white flower, the Dahlia one, I did make multiple sizes of this image and then I just layered it. For time purposes, I'm only using one, but typically I do layer these just so it's more of a fuller look. But I just wanted to show you how to use these tools, or if you're wondering how did she get that rolling of the petals, this is how. Okay, so once I do that, I'm gonna grab the paw part, and I'm going to go in the center and I'm going to roll. And did you see what happened? The center closed up a little bit. So that is how I get my centers like this. And then you would just glue it in the center, just like that. Okay, you guys, and that concludes the tutorial for my template 56 inspired dahlia flower. If you have any questions, please message me on my Etsy, Ariel Elise Designs, or my email, arielelisedesigns@gmail.com. You can find the template on my Etsy. I'll have it linked down below. And again, remember, you get the PDF and the SVG. So if you're a hand cutter, PDF is great for you. If you're like your cutting machine to cut your petals out, then you have the SVG. And please refer to that video, the gardenia one, because again, I do a walkthrough on the SVG, so that way you can get an idea what the SVG looks like. Okay, so that way when you open it up, you're not like because sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, but I share with you how to resize the petals and then saving it, so that way you don't have to keep doing it every time you use this template. So I will chat with you guys later. Bye.